Welcome, welcome! It's Mud Dog with the Texas Space Navy bringing you another Star Citizen video. And today we have the Invictus launch week, May 26th, 27th, Aegis Dynamics. Aegis is an awesome manufacturer in the game. They manufacture a lot of military hardware, mostly the older versions. So like the Idris, the Javelin, the Retaliator, these are older model military style ships. They do have newer vessels that they have been putting out. The Sabre line is supposed to be the one that was supposed to possibly replace the Hornets, but you know it hasn't done that. They haven't made that an official replacement yet. Probably because of the F8 Lightnings that Anvil put out. So Aegis Dynamics, for honoring their tradition, they have a proud record of military service spanning over 4 centuries, and many of the most iconic naval vessels come from Aegis Dynamics. Today, the brand is famous for designs that build on its tradition of excellence while keeping an eye firmly on the future. So, let's take a look. The War Bond Upgrade Special, the Retaliator Bomber. You can get it with 10-year insurance. On an upgrade. Awesome. We have the Aegis Avenger Stalker, the Avenger Titan, the Avenger Titan Renegade. A lot of people like that one. The Avenger Warlock, which is the EMP version. The Avenger Eclipse, which is a stealth bomber. It's got 3 size 9 torpedoes. The Gladius Valiant, which is another Masters of Flight version. The Hammerhead, $725. That's a lot, but it's a beastly ship. The Retaliator Bomber, $275 standalone. The Sabre, as we were talking about, $170. Sabre Comet, $185. Another Masters in Flight ship. The Vanguard Harbinger, Vanguard Hoplite, Vanguard Sentinel, and the Vanguard Warden. So back in the day, I picked up a buck that I can switch a lot of these out. Well, not the Hoplite, but the Harbinger, Sentinel, and Warden. I can supposedly flip and switch different pieces out. So I might end up doing that eventually at some point or another. Future Flyable from Aegis. The Nautilus, which is the same price as a Hammerhead. It's supposed to be a pretty good sized ship, and this is the mine layer. So you can lay mines that'll either have guns or that will track and home in on the enemies when they get close enough. You've got the Mighty Redeemer, Retaliator Base. So this is a gutted Retaliator that you're able to get modules for to like crew quarters, Titan suit carrying, cargo, all sorts of stuff you can get with the Retaliator Base. Then you have the Vulcan. If you have an Idris, you can get the Idris P aftermarket kit, which makes it we call it an Idris K. It's got a pretty nasty gun on it. These are in limited stock right now for War Bond, and they're sold out for credits. Then down here below, we have the Chairman Club offer, which is the Idris P. You have the War Bond version, which is cash only $1,300. The Idris P with credits, $1,500. Javelin, $2,700, $30,000. This is the almighty Javelin. The one everybody wants. The one everybody loves. The one we can see in game right now that looks really awesome. Then we go down to paints and extras. You've got the Avenger pack, which has some pretty cool paint schemes. It looks like the blue and gold, the Splinter, the olive green. I like the Splinter better than that. I'm not sure I like this olive green. It looks kind of drab. Then there's a Retaliator paint pack. That's pretty interesting. I like the blue and gold on it. Not sure I like the Twilight paint or the gray paint. Yeah, maybe the Twilight paint. I don't know. Then you have the Aegis gear pack, the Celebration gear pack, and then you have your regular merchandise, stickers, hats, journal, shirts. So yeah, pretty awesome. Great sale. This is probably one of my favorite days for a sell. So many great ships. Aegis does not make a bad ship in their lineup. Let me look through. No, not a bad ship there. No. I mean, these are future ships, but maybe the Vulcan, because it's a starter type ship. I don't know, because I mean the Avenger is a starter ship, and it's pretty darn awesome. So yeah, I don't think they make a bad ship. So Aegis is awesome. Yeah. Let's take a look at the convention floor. Well, here we are at the Bevek Convention Center. Let's take a look around. Holograms everywhere. Out here in front of the Bevek Center halls, we have different monuments, pictures, all sorts of cool stuff to look at. You even have the item shops where you can buy the shirts and the hats, in-game of course, if you want to buy that stuff. Outside the game, there is a merchandise store to do that as well. So lots of cool little things that they've added to really spice up the Bevek Convention Center, make everything look really cool. I love that these planes, these ships, have these little streamers that are fly out. That's completely 3D. Like, it's a work of art to me. They've got the recruitment station there on the left. Then you got the big picture of the Valkyrie coming in. Actually, it looks like a bunch of Valkyries coming in on the left there as well. And now we're going to go into the hall itself for Aegis Dynamics Day. And Aegis is just an awesome manufacturer. There's not an Aegis ship that I really dislike very much. I like just about every one of the Aegis ships, and some of them I like a whole lot. Here you can see the Eclipse in all its glory as we pan through a little bit. The wings are folded up. This is the landing configuration for the Eclipse. You really won't be able to put them up in flight unless you put the landing gear down, which kind of looks silly. So, very cool ship. It's super stealthy. It's a great bomber. Carries size 9 torpedoes. It'll carry 3 of those. So you can get in, shoot off the torpedoes from range, get out, and nobody will even know you were even there. Then we have one of my favorite ships that I hope they get in the game sooner rather than later. This is the Aegis Redeemer. This is a gunship. Well, I say it's a gunship. It was originally a dropship. Then they said it was going to be a gunship. Now it says it's going to have a significant amount of cargo space and the ability to transport troops and stuff. So I don't know what this ship is going to be exactly, but I do know it's got a lot of guns. It's got at least 8 guns on it, and some of them are quite large. The ship itself, probably freelancer size, maybe-ish. So it's not a huge ship. I'm sorry, it's got 10 guns. I forgot about the little turret in the back. You see the little tail turret. I'm sure that's going to be like a remote turret. But anyways, yeah. This thing should be able to pack a major punch. I really like it. I really hope I see a lot of it in my org. It would be really cool to have a squadron of these. Just bombard people. At least I think that would be cool. You see those front-mounted turrets, they're all gimbaled. Pretty neat. Hopefully we'll get to see it in the game soon. Like I said, I really like it. Then we have the Nautilus, which is the capital size mine layer. So this thing is the size of a capital ship. My guess is it's a little bigger than a Hammerhead, maybe closer to the Polaris in size. And the mines it can drop, right now they only have 2 configurations. They're talking about doing some different ones, but there's the mines that you would think of like a regular minefield, but a little more futuristic. You drop them down, and once somebody gets within range of them, once it detects it, the mines will start taking off after those ships until they blow up or run out of fuel or whatever. Then they also have the ones with the gun turrets on it. So it's kind of like what we have in the claim jumper missions. They will open fire when somebody gets close enough, and wonder what kind of damage it'll do. I don't know what the size guns are going to be on it. They never really specified. I think there was some speculation there. We will have to wait and see. I don't expect this ship to be in the game anytime soon. This is one of the Aegis ships that they just won't fast track, I don't believe. Maybe they will, I don't know. It does have over 400 years of service. Maybe they need it for Squadron 42. I don't know. I don't expect to see it. Now we go to the other part of the main floor, the main concourse area. We were just at the upper section, and here you can see all the different ships that Aegis have to offer. We're going to take a closer look at each one of them one by one. You can see the Avenger series and the Gladius over to the right, as well as the Vanguards, the Hammerhead front and center, and then over to the left you have the Retaliator and the Sabre series. Let's take a closer look, starting with the Sabre series. So with the Sabres, they were designed to kind of replace or compete with the Hornet line of ships from Anvil. They're medium fighters, but they have stealth capability. They're stealthy. They still pack a pretty good punch with 4 size 3 guns fixed. You could switch them, you know, obviously for size 2 gimbaled. It's highly maneuverable. It's a darn good ship. The problem is Anvil put out the F8 Lightning about the same time that the Sabre was coming out. And the F8 Lightning is a beast of a ship. It's devastatingly powerful. It's just awesome all around. So, of course, Anvil won the contract, and Aegis had all these Sabres that were designed for military use. So they decided they would sell it for civilians. So you have a lot of these military-type hardware available to civilians in the Sabre line. You have the regular Sabre, which we're looking at right now. We have the Sabre Comet, which is a Masters of Flight series ship. That one is it's different livery, different colors, as you see here. It's kind of got a digital gray camo, and it usually comes with a couple of scatter guns. It was the first ship to ever come with scatter guns in the game. And when those scatter guns came out originally, I had 4 on here. That's how awesome they were. A Sabre with 4 scatter guns, size 3 scatter guns, could just wallop anything and everything quickly. Unfortunately, they nerfed the crap out of those scatter guns, and of course now they feel downright useless. So, avoid scatter guns at the moment. That's what I would say. But yeah, the Sabre, great line of ships. There's one more Sabre that they don't have in here, and that's the Sabre Raven. It's a very limited ship. You can only get that with Intel Optane drives a few years ago. It was a little thing that they did in conjunction with Intel. They have EMP generators. They're not the best head-to-head fighters, but the EMP generators can really do a lot to knock out enemy ships. To me, it's more of a recon ship, you know, and the EMPs are kind of to help it escape. That's the way I would treat it. Here you have the Retaliator bomber. They have 2 different versions of the Retaliator now. They have this bomber version, which comes with a slew of size 9 torpedoes. This thing packs a major punch. It's not going to take down an Idris by itself, but it can take down almost any other ship by itself. I mean, this thing is really nasty when you start firing off those torpedoes. There's a great video out there of somebody getting pretty much an entire server renting these things and taking on the Invictus fleet and just launching nothing but torpedoes all day long until things blow up. It's really cool. You'll have to check that out. I'd like to do a video like that myself, but I don't know if I can muster the manpower to do it at the moment. Now, something else this ship has is a bunch of guns. It's got a bunch of turrets on it that, I believe it's, what, 5 turrets? Let me think. You see one right there. There's 2 in the back. Yeah, it's got like 5 turrets on it. They have varying size of guns. It does do quite well if you can man all those guns and your gunners are pretty accurate. This thing could fend off a lot of ships, a lot of fighters that are coming in to take it out. The Retaliator was originally a long-range bomber, so it's designed to go long distances without a whole lot of support, except for maybe some Vanguard support, and, you know, unload its payload from a long range and get out of there. The other version of the Retaliator is the base model, and it if you get the base model, you can buy all the different modules for it. Of course, the modules hadn't been on sale in a long time, but they have like living quarters, so you can live a little more comfortably on there. What it does is it strips out the torpedo bays, and you can put these other modules in there. Or you could buy the torpedo bays and have one torpedo bay instead of two, and maybe a living quarters in another, or a Titan compartment where you can store Titan armor. Dropship configuration to where you can carry extra troops. So it's got all these different modules you can put in there. This is the Hammerhead. It is a Corvette-sized ship, so it kind of goes back and forth. Is it a Corvette? Is it a gunship? It's a little bit of both. Each one of those turrets that are on this thing are all size 4s, so it's got 4 size 4s on each one. It's got 4 turrets off to the side. It's got 1 underneath and 1 on top. So it's got a lot of guns. It also carries a bunch of missiles. Now the pilot only has access to the missiles. He can't fire any of the guns. You're going to need crew to fire those guns. It does have a drop bay as well, or a cargo bay, whatever you want to call it. You can put an Ursa rover in here, so that once you land, you can unload some of the troops. The guns that it usually comes with are all size 4 rhinos, which are laser repeaters. I love rhinos. I think they're awesome. I carry them on a lot of different ships that have the capability. Just a great all-around gun. Now we take a look at the Vanguard series, and there are 4 Vanguard variants here. I'm not going to go through all the differences of them. Well, I'll talk about the differences. I'm not going to talk about the specific ships as we look at all of them. So the 4 different variants. You have the Vanguard Warden, which is just the main plain Jane fighter, heavy fighter. Then you have the Harbinger, which is kind of a fighter bomber, kind of like a Gladiator. So the Gladiator was a lighter or medium fighter bomber, and the Harbinger's a little bit heavier. It still has the gun loadout in the front that the Warden has, excuse me, and it's got size 5 torpedoes, so pretty cool there. Then you also have the Sentinel. The Sentinel has an EMP, and it's designed more towards electronic warfare, so jamming enemy systems, bringing down shields or electronics quicker. It's designed for that style of gameplay. All of them have the 4 size 2 guns fixed in the nose, and then the 1 size 4 gimbaled on the nose, or underneath the nose, which you can convert into a size 5 fixed. When you do that, the thing hits hard. But fixed guns are kind of junk right now. I can't wait till that's fixed in the next patch, because I'll be putting a size 5 back on my Vanguard, and I will be roasting some folks. At least in theory. The last Vanguard in the group is the Hoplite. Now the Hoplite was designed specifically to replace the Redeemer. So when the Redeemer was created, it was actually created by fans of Star Citizen. It was a little competition that CIG did a few years ago to create the next great starship, and the Redeemer ended up winning that competition. It was all fully fleshed out, and you could actually visit in the hangar. You can visit in the hangar today, your personal hangar, if you've got a Redeemer. But the problem is there was a lot of issues with the design, and they also felt like it did not match the Aegis design language enough. So they were going to redo the Redeemer. But they needed a dropship that could go on a Javelin for Squadron 42. The Redeemer was supposed to be that dropship. It was supposed to be the one that went along with the Javelin. It wasn't ready, so they already had a Vanguard created, and they just converted the back end of it to make it more dropshippy. I still don't feel like it's very much of a dropship, but that's what they did. They created the Hoplite, and they made the Javelin Bay have the dimensions that could fit a Vanguard Hoplite. It's kind of cool that, you know, you can put a Vanguard in there. It'd been cooler if you can put a Redeemer in there. Hopefully you still can. But back to the dropship point, it's not really a dropship to me. It only carries 5 like extra crewmen or 5 Marines. It's not. When I think dropship, I think the Prowler. I think the Valkyrie. Those are dropships. I mean, the Valkyrie can carry like 20 extra troops. The Prowler can carry 16. To me, those are actual dropships. If you're just dropping in with a group of 5, you're going to want to have something stealthier than a Vanguard. Because you're in that's a small unit. Unless you're dropping them a bunch of clicks out, which in case you still want to have some sort of rover or something that they can use to get around. You don't want to hoof it 20 kilometers to get into, you know, where it is you're trying to get. So again, I'm not a fan of the Hoplite, the way that it was designed or the idea behind it. I think it could have been so much better. I think it's fluff. It's unnecessary when you have other ships that can perform the job better. That's my opinion. You guys let me know in the comments what you think. Now we're taking a look at the Avenger series. The Avenger is one of the oldest series of ships as well. It saw a lot of active duty in the military for a long time before it was replaced by the Gladius. Now, the Avenger is still used quite a bit because it's a darn good ship. You have 3 different variants. You've got the Stalker, the Titan, and the Warden. The Titan is more of like the cargo runner. The Stalker is more like a bounty hunter ship where it's got prison pods and stuff. And then the Aegis Warlock variant has the EMP in it, and it's all really devastating. The EMP is that's one of the best EMPs in the game right now, is on the Warlock. These are also called penguins because they look a lot like a penguin, and my org Texas pretty much has a penguin squadron at the moment. Everybody that has them loves them, and they will defend them till their last breath. They love the penguin, and I can't blame them. It's a fantastic ship, probably the best ship in the starter range that you can get, bar none. I think it's a little more expensive. It's like 75 bucks, 65 bucks, something like that. But it's well worth it in that starter range. So if you're looking to pick up a ship this weekend and you're not in the game, I recommend you get the Avenger. It is awesome. Use my referral code too. That information's down below. You'll get a bonus 5,000 credits in the game. So definitely check that out. So the last ship we have to show off here in our little convention center is the Gladius. The Gladius is a highly revered ship. It's super maneuverable, very fast. It's a light fighter, and it packs a punch. It's got pretty devastating loadout. It's a lot more maneuverable than the Avenger, but man, there's something about that Avenger that I really like. To me, deciding between an Avenger and a Gladius, it's a very tough decision. But that's me personally. So guys, if you like this video, please hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, what have you done with your life? Hit that subscribe button. Hit that little bell icon to let you know when I do more of these videos. If you're interested in joining the org, again, that information's down below. If you're interested in sponsoring me, please check out my Patreon or my YouTube members section down below in the description as well. Really do appreciate all you guys who have donated and given to this project. Thank you so much. Again, I'm Mud Dog with the Texas Space Navy, and I'll see you out in the verse.